Hey demons, it's your girl Lucy, and today I'm going to be designing some characters from my favorite fandoms because I get very, very hyper fixated on things and I want to make characters for them. But before we get into that, I just want to say thank you to everyone who watched the pilot that I just released. It got way more views than I thought it would, like way more, which makes me very happy. Currently, my goal for this web series is to finish it. That's it, because I struggle with finishing things. I need people on the internet forcing me to finish it. So that's my goal. Anyway, the first fandom that I'm going to be doing is Warrior Cats. I was so hyper fixated on these books when I was a kid. Oh my god, there is like hundreds of them. I've read literally every single one of them. I have so many of these books in my house. So anyway, let's get into creating this character. So for any of you that have not read over 80 Warrior Cats books and don't know exactly what it's about, it's basically about cats that are warriors in the forest. They live in like clans and stuff, and there's like Thunder Clan, and those are like the good people, and then there's Shadow Clan, and those are the evil people, except I like Shadow Clan. Each of the clans have like their own thing. That's not important. The important thing is they're cats, they live together, and yes. So anyway, I'm not actually making one character. I'm drawing these two OCs that I've had for kind of a while. They're siblings, and basically they did not grow up in the clans. I made them grow up in this evil rogue group, because rogues are cats that are not in the clans, and then kitty pets are ones that are like normal house cats. So these two were raised in a sort of rogue group that is separate from the clans, because that is a thing in the books, and they do actually take over the clans a few times. You know, it's always fun. So yeah, this rogue group, very mean, very violent, very evil, okay? Because I want my characters to be traumatized. It's very important. Nettle is the older one, and she's very talented and very smart, but she fit in better into the rogue group than Mouse did, who is this cat that is also with her. Mouse was given his name because people saw him as weak and he was smaller than the other kids, and he's very sweet. I have a habit of making these like really, really sweet characters and just traumatizing them. We see that with Nico, but Mouse did not do great in this rogue group because he just wasn't as violent as cruel as the other cats, and Nettle wasn't either, but she was very easily able to fit in more, able to stomach more of the violence, and was able to impress people with her intelligence and her good fighting skills. She always looked after Mouse and had to protect him from other young cats that they were training with, but she couldn't really protect him from the older cats. So yeah, it didn't go well. Until eventually one day, I think that the older cats would have just gotten fed up with having to deal with this cat that they see as weak and not useful to their group, and they decided to just like kill Mouse. And Nettle was like, oh hell no. So they both ran off, and it was the middle of winter, because of course this needs to be the hardest as it possibly can. So they ran off in the middle of winter and had to struggle to survive on their own. They barely escaped, being killed. So eventually they come upon the clans, and these kitty cats are much nicer than their old ones, so they want to join a clan, and also they're like starving and figure that they can't survive much longer on their own. They're not doing so well. I don't know exactly what clan to have them join. I kind of want it to be Wind Clan. Wind Clan is like the super fast kitty cats, okay? They like run through the fields, and I don't know, I can see them breeding pretty fast, but I feel like Thunder Clan would fit them best. But also, that's basic. That's the most basic answer. Screw it, I'm putting them in Sky Clan. They are Sky Clan cats, okay? Yeah, Mouse, I think, would become a medicine cat. So medicine cats are the cats that give out, like, medicine to other cats. They heal people, and I think that would fit Mouse really nicely. I think that he originally wants to be a warrior because that's all he really knows how to do is the fighting and stuff, but he very quickly becomes interested in how he can actually help cats, and he gets pushed into that role, which I think there would be some conflict with the fact that he's a rogue, and the cats wouldn't think that he has as much of a connection with StarClan and all that, but I can see Mouse. I think he would have the ability to see a lot of ghost cats that would come to visit him, especially ones that weren't in StarClan. You know how rogues that die apparently just wander the forest. I think Mouse would be seeing a lot of those. He would have a lot of he wouldn't have a lot of living cat friends. They would all be dead, okay? He struggles making friends, but when they're dead, they're pretty lonely, so they're looking for anyone to talk to. That's how Mouse makes friends. And then Nettle would probably become a respected warrior. I can honestly see her rising up to the rank of being a deputy or leader. I think she would be really good at that. They definitely do face some adversity coming in as rogues that were also much more violent than the clan cats were. I mean, I know they get into wars and stuff, but like Nettle and Mouse to an extent would be much easier to jump to violence because that's how they were raised. But they were eventually brought up in the clans, and Nettle finds a she cat that she really loves, and they adopt some kids together that are found, and oh, it's so adorable. I should design Nettle's mate. That would be so cute. So yeah, that's what I have for these two kitty cats. I think that they turned out really cute. For Nettle, I really tried to do sharper for angles and add more like triangles, and she has pointier ears because she's much like harsher and a bit more dangerous, but she is still sweet. And then with Mouse, I've made him very fluffy, rounded, all of that, just to make him look soft and cute. Like you want to tell people he's so innocent. I love him. Okay, this next character, I am currently obsessed with this show. Oh my god. We're making a Has-Been Hotel OC. The second season, okay, there might be some spoilers from Has-Been Hotel because I feel like I'm going to get distracted and start talking about it. The second season is killing me. They cannot just do that to Alistair and then to Angel. No. I can't cope with this in one season. It's too much. Also, I have no idea what Heaven was doing trying to make up for genocide with gift baskets. I feel like Vox is supposed to be the villain, but oh my god, Vox has some way better points. I don't know what they were doing. But anyway, I've loved this fandom for years. I had to wait so long for the actual series to come out, and I feel like people pointed out a lot of the writing mistakes and blah, 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 and they have a point. They have a point. Some people don't like it, but I do, so I don't really care. Yeah, I just enjoy watching it, and I love the fandom, and also it has Lucifer and Alistair, and okay, I'm gonna get into my actual character, because that is what this video is supposed to be about, but oh my god, I cannot wait for the last 2 episodes of the second season to come out. So going into this, I really wanted to do somebody with these, like, crazy tentacle hair, because that's what I felt like doing. Also, I think I've tried to do this with other characters before, but I just wasn't talented enough to draw it, and I figured I'd go at it again. And honestly, I think it turned out pretty good. I really like it. I think it matches her vibe. I made her very fishy, and this is because that when she was a human, yes, we're getting into her backstory, as a human, when she was, like, alive, I see her having very bad, abusive parents. Oh my god, what else is new with my characters? I need to come up with different tragic backstories. So anyway, she got fed up with it and ran away and was like, no. So to survive, she started stealing ships and was basically like a very famous pirate, but her whole thing was that she was like a lone pirate. She somehow managed to captain all these ships by herself, do all the maintaining of the ships, and go out and steal tons of gold and shit without a crew whatsoever. It was just her, and she was like sailing the 7 seas, going and pillaging villages and all of that, and just really having the time of her life. Sorry, my family's making noise. They need to learn to be quieter. So she was just really enjoying this new freedom. She went crazy. She felt like she could finally do what she wanted, and she was really enjoying it. But, you know, she did a lot of bad things, so that's why she ended up in hell. And then one day, she starts to feel lonely, because she keeps jumping from village to village, and she, like, talks to people. She can't make any close connections because she always goes off alone, and she's a bit crazy now. So she ends up returning home, hoping that her parents give her at least some form of comfort. They were never there for her as a child, but she really just needs someone that she is familiar with, that she has a connection with, to be there for her. So she goes home trying to look for that, just any human connection that she can find, and her parents just go off on her because she's gotten this really big reputation for everything that she's doing, and they just go off about how embarrassing that is to the family and all of this, and she is not having it. She ends up getting so angry that she lights the house that they are in on fire, and all 3 of them die, and that is how she dies and gets sent to hell. Yeah. Honestly, I don't know. I gave her this fishhook thing because I think that is a really cool way for her to kill people, and it fits with her fishy, piratey aesthetic, I think. In Hell, I assume that she's really enjoying her time in Hell. Like, this is a place where she can finally be as wild and free and chaotic as she wants, and nobody's going to judge her because there's tons of turf wars and she participates in all of them. She is always looking for a fight, and she is thriving down here. I imagine that she got such a big reputation that people like the V's and other powerful people in Hell were trying to like recruit her, get her on their side, and she's just like, no, because she absolutely refuses to be tied down in any deals. She's just living her best life down here. And yeah, good for her. Her parents are probably down here too, but she tries to avoid them as much as she can. The last fandom that I wanted to make a character for was Steven Universe. Now, I do enjoy this show. Probably, I enjoy this fandom less than I do the other two, but I still wanted to try and make my own gem. I watched the whole show, and the ending infuriated me. We'll get into that later. So the first thing I did was try and choose like what kind of rock I want this gem to be, and I was looking at like pretty rocks, and one thing that I found was a moonstone. Honestly, looking at them, I have no idea if they actually exist or if they're just like pretty things that people made, but they're really smooth and round. And they look like they have a whole galaxy inside, and I was like, yes, I will make a character based on that. So the whole idea for this character is that she can basically sense other people's like auras, sort of, or like their individuality. They all have different colors and beliefs and ideas, and she can just like sense that, even if she doesn't know exactly what it is. And that is her ability as a gem. And she is a very rare gem, I think, because I feel like she would be the only one of her gem that existed, because she wasn't made by like the diamonds. She kind of just like materialized. I didn't come up with how she materialized. I don't know. Something mystical, magical happened, and she exists now. So the diamonds were originally very interested in her, and they wanted her to, work for them and be owned by them like all the other gems are. But because she could see all the different gems' individuality, she knew that they were their own people and that they weren't like just, they all had their own different beliefs and ideas and uniqueness. And she was telling this to people. She was like, they're suffering in the society that you've built for them that doesn't let them express who they are. And the diamonds were not having this, but she could not let it go because she could see that everybody had their own unique thing going on and that they weren't able to be themselves, and that really infuriated her. So using her status as a pretty high-ranking gem, she really, really tried to explain this to people and rally people against the society that they were built, and the diamonds did not appreciate this, obviously. So they ended up banishing her, or trying to shatter her, but she ends up escaping, and she's just now endlessly walking the universe, or like in space, traveling to different planets, trying to see how other worlds work, until she stumbles upon Earth and finds all of these people that are just constantly changing and trying to express their ways through art and poetry and writing and music and all of that, and she gets obsessed with it. She loves all of the creativity that comes with this planet, and she ends up staying here, and she tries all of it. She writes songs, she does paintings, drawings, all of it. She's just really expressing herself for the first time and consuming all of the art that she possibly can. And she is so happy here, and she still wishes she could go back and help all the gems at Homeworld, but she is kind of just trying to let that go, trying to just appreciate this new life that she's found, just exploring art. And then obviously there's the whole thing where the gems are trying to destroy Earth, and there's a cluster and all of that, which if you've watched the show. And yeah, she's not very happy about this, and eventually she hears that Steven Universe has forgiven the diamonds for everything that they did, and she is not happy about this. Why did they end the series like this? Why were the genocidal maniacs that murdered tons of killed all forms of life and kept an entire species enslaved to them forgiven at the end of the show? That was the worst thing I've ever seen. So anyway, Moonstone over here hears about that and is like, oh hell no, and now she's going to try and secretly rally gems to her cause and to fight back against this and give the diamonds what they truly deserve. And, you know, in my version, they get shattered and all of that. So that is what I have for these characters, these OCs that I made for fandoms that I really like. I really enjoy doing this because I feel like I've been working so much on my own characters that I haven't had as much time to make like fan art or anything, and I am obsessed with these fandoms. So I really enjoyed this. I might do more in the future if people like this video. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye guys!